Hey guys, this is Steve Huff, SteveHuffPhoto.com. I'm here today double clutching. What am I double clutching? First, in my left hand, I have the Olympus EM1 with the Panasonic Nocticron. In the right hand, I have the Panasonic GX7 with the Panasonic/Leica Nocticron. Yes, I have two Nocticrons here. How does that happen? No, I didn't buy two Nocticrons, but I did buy one Nocticron. The review sample was so good, and I had so much fun shooting it, and the results were a little bit similar. Well, I don't want to say similar, but it had a hint and some magic of the original Leica Noctilux F1 in the rendering and the bokeh quality and everything. It's sharp from f1.2 on, wide open. So I went ahead and I bought a Nocticron for myself because I feel it is one of those lenses that you buy and hold on to. Imagine getting a taste of the Leica Noctilux, even the f9.5 version that comes in at $11,000. Getting a taste of it for $1,600 with the same body design. Now, it's not the same build as the Leica Noctilux, I have to say. It looks similar in design, shape, where the focus barrel is, the manual aperture ring, which clicks nice and solid. You have the manual aperture ring. The manual aperture ring only works on Panasonic bodies as of right now. You can use it on the EM1, but you change the aperture like you normally would with an Olympus lens with the thumb dial. So even if you put this to f16, you change the aperture right here. So on an Olympus body, I leave it on A for automatic. On the Panasonic body, you can just change your aperture with the dial like you would any manual aperture lens. Now, I want to talk about the Nocticron 42.5 lens a little bit. Let me put one of these down because this is an expensive lens for Micro Four Third. $1,600. Normally you don't spend that much on a Micro Four Third lens. You have the Olympus 75 1.8, which is an amazing lens. That comes in at around $900, and that's one of the best lenses for Micro Four Third. The only problem is it is a equivalent to 150 millimeter. So you have to have quite a distance from your subject to use that Olympus 75. This is a 42.5 millimeter, which it is. It's really a 42.5 millimeter lens, f1.2. I'm going to tell you a little bit why it's so expensive for Panasonic to make these. First of all, it is an f1.2 lens, okay? It is designed partly by Leica. They use exotic glass. They have very good glass in this lens. It is well made. It's probably the best built Micro Four Third lens besides the Voigtlander manual focus lenses, but those are manual focus only. This is a metal body. It's very solid and hefty. It's large. You have on the side here, you have an AF switch or manual focus, and you have your power optical image stabilization. You could turn that off, which you want to do on the Olympus EM1, EM5, EP5, because you want to take advantage of that 5-axis image stabilization. On the Panasonic bodies, you want to turn that on because the image stabilization in the lens is better than the in-body image stabilization of something like the GX7. And most Panasonic bodies do not have in-body image stabilization. So when shooting on the Panasonic, you want to keep that on. So you have the optical image stabilization, which is what is making this lens a little large. As you can see, the front element does not stretch all the way out to the edge. That's because around that is the optical image stabilization that's built into the lens. So that's why this lens is so expensive. You have three reasons. I think it's three. You have that it's got the Leica name in the front because it's partnered with Leica. Leica designs the lens. Panasonic builds it. This lens is made in Japan. Right there. It's not made in China. So you have the Leica name on it, the Leica design. You have exotic glass. You have all metal construction, manual aperture dial, just like the high-end Leica lenses have. And you have, like I said, the size and build. And you have the quality. The quality of this lens beats the Olympus 45 1.8? That's the big question. Is it going to beat the Olympus 45 1.8? Because you could go on Amazon and buy the Olympus for $350 or so, around that price. This is $1,600. So is this worth $1,100 more than the Olympus? For most people, it will not be. For some people, like me, who have been spoiled by Leica lenses and being able to shoot everything that's on the market for the past 5 years, I see the difference in the rendering, the sharpness, the color, the contrast, and more importantly, and the biggest thing for me, is the creamy bokeh. Some people say bokeh. There's no wrong way to say it. It's bokeh, bokeh. You have the creaminess. This is probably the best bokeh from any lens I have seen, next to the original Leica Noctilux and the SLR Magic 50 Hyper Prime, the T95M mount. That had even smoother bokeh than the Leica Noctilux a little bit. This is up there in that quality of bokeh with those lenses. So you're getting all of this in one package. So it's not going to be cheap, people. It's going to be expensive because you get what you pay for. I learned that a long time ago in life. You get what you pay for. But there are some cases, bang for the buck. The Olympus 45 1.8, $350. That's the biggest no-brainer in the history of Micro Four Thirds, because it's a fabulous lens. You're getting a 90mm portrait length, f1.8 light gathering capability, so low light, it'll work great. The thing between the 45 1.8 Olympus and this, with the 45 Olympus, what you're not getting for that extra $1,100 is the build, the manual aperture. You're not getting that creamy smooth bokeh. You're not getting the amazing contrast and color that comes out of this lens. You're still getting excellent results. So again, that's why I say for most people, this will not be worth it over the Olympus. This is for those who have shot Leica lenses. This is for those who want that look, who want something special in their images. This is a superb portrait lens. So when you're shooting a portrait with this lens, you can shoot it at f1.2. This is the benefit of Micro Four Thirds. You can get that light gathering quality of f1.2, so you can keep your ISO low. Doesn't matter if you're in a studio. If you're in a studio, you're going to have lights anyway. But let's say you want to shoot it wide open for that creamy look. You can, and you'll have both eyes and the nose in focus. This is something like equivalent of a full frame of like a 85 f2.5 wide open. And as far as depth of field. So, for example, the Leica 90 Sumerit f2.5 comes in at around $1,900. This is built just as well as that 90 Sumerit, and it's going to give you even more of a creamy look. So when you're talking price, $1,600, yes, it's expensive. On some people, it kind of irritates me when people say it's expensive for Micro Four Thirds. Well, Micro Four Thirds is a very valid, very legitimate, very, very amazing format. There's more Micro Four Thirds cameras in people's hands than Fuji X. And in my opinion, I've said it before, something like the Olympus EM1, that camera with some good lenses, easily for me surpasses any APS-C camera on the market, because it's more about, it's more than just the APS-C depth of field, which everybody likes to talk about. With Micro Four Thirds, something like the EM1, you're getting blazing fast autofocus. You're getting solid body, professional build, weatherproof, freeze-proof, shockproof. You are getting, let me grab that EM1. You're getting huge viewfinder, huge EVF. You're getting the swivel LCD. The build quality of the EM1 totally kicks the panties off of the Fuji X-T1 without question. That's just not me saying it, that's a fact. The speed, it's faster. It's built better. It's really enjoyable to use. Now, I love the Fuji X-T1. It's the latest Fuji X body, the only Fuji X body I would purchase. But when you're shooting something like an EM1, it's just so responsive and so blazing fast, and the colors are beautiful right out of the camera, even if you want to shoot JPEG. That's one difference I found between the GX7 and the EM1. I much prefer the out-of-camera JPEGs from the EM1. They look a little rough out of the GX7 color-wise. I much prefer the Olympus color. So you can use this Nocticron on the EM1 without a problem. My full review, which will be up on the website, by the time you see this, it'll probably be up already, at stevehufpphoto.com, has tons of photos. Most of them were shot with the EM1. Some of them were shot with the GX7. Both fantastic cameras. The EM1 easily surpasses the GX7 in build, in speed, in feel, pretty much everything, because the EM1 is a pro body, but it's $400 or $500 more, maybe even $600 more than the GX7 body. So for that price difference, you're still getting a superb, sleek looking, cool rangefinder-esque body. So I know this went off topic. I started talking about the Nocticron, but the Nocticron is a killer lens. Whether or not it's worth it depends on you, what you like to shoot, what you're used to in a lens quality. You could shoot side by side with the Olympus 45, that's $350. And like I said, what you'll see is a little less sharpness, a little less contrast, a little bit different color, and a more busy out of focus background blur. With this, you're getting the faster f1.2 versus f1.8. You're getting more background blur if that's what you want. But again, the Nocticron is a great overall lens. It's one of those lenses that will retain some value. Now, of course, you can't buy it like a Leica lens and sell it 5 years later for more than you paid for it, but it's going to hold its value pretty good, I think. So you could get a lot of use out of it, even for a couple years, sell it and not take too big of a loss. So there you go, that's the Leica Nocticron. Keep watching, because I'm going to pause this and I'm going to show you the size difference between this, the Olympus 45 1.8, and the Voigtlander 42.5 f9.5, which is another fantastic lens, which also beats the Olympus. It's razor sharp, it has that Leica look to it, it has that build of the Leica M lenses, but it's manual focus. It's about $1,000, so you're saving $600 over this. You don't get the image stabilization, and you do not get the autofocus. So for $600 more, you get autofocus, image stabilization, and around the same quality, though this has a little bit different rendering to it than the Voigtlander. But keep watching. I'm going to show you the size differences right now. And there you go. Here is the size difference. Here is the Panasonic 42.5 Nocticron, the Voigtlander 42.5 f9.5, manual focus only. You can see that this Nocticron is wider due to the optical image stabilization and the autofocus motor. Then you have the Olympus 45 1.8, which is tiny, very light. The Voigtlander is pretty heavy, and this one's much lighter. Well, it feels quite a bit lighter than the Voigtlander. The Voigtlander is solid as a rock, but you have that M-mount type construction, which is really cool. So these are the three 45-ish type lenses you have for the Micro Four Thirds system. All of them are phenomenal. The bokeh, the background blur, is the best with this, then with this, then with this. So you got $350. You can get this at Amazon. This is about $1,000, about $1,600. So there you go, all three of them.